What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today in this video, I want to talk to you about getting back into real estate investing after taking off a full year, and why this pause is actually going to make me a better investor. It's going to realign me with my goals. And most important, why relying on one source of income is probably the worst thing that you could do. It is the most risky thing that you could be doing today in this economy. If you've been investing in real estate, then you know that it is not a passive game, right? Especially flipping. And I would even say that rental properties are not a passive game, because either you're going to be managing the properties yourself or you're going to be managing a property manager, and there's just going to be some expenses that you're just going to have to, dig deep into and make tough decisions. So about a year ago, I took a pause from buying properties, and it's not because I thought that real estate as a strategy was, just like dead, or that just in being an investor was just something that you just couldn't do at this particular time. No, I needed to reassess my risk, think about my long-term strategy, and just figure out what my true ultimate goals were. And what this pause in buying properties allowed me to do was determine whether or not I love, real estate to the point of flipping houses as a full-time job. And what I figured out is that I do not like doing that full-time. And it also allowed me to pay attention to interest rates and, market conditions. I learned to tighten my buying criteria, because I will admit that my criteria had gotten a little loose. And, I ran across a couple of properties that I had, rehabbed and flipped that I would never do again. So my criteria is definitely different going forward than it was in the past. And the fact that I took this pause, I definitely do not look at myself as being a quitter or anything like that. Sometimes it is necessary for you to just simply pivot and go in a different direction, attacking the same thing, but you're just going at it from a different angle, and an angle that aligns with your ultimate goals. Because here's the hard truth is that your job is just one source of income. It is not a wealth plan, because companies can downsize, they lay people off, the industry changes. And if you leave yourself vulnerable to what these companies do, you're putting yourself at a great risk. Having a second source of income allows you to build wealth faster. It is less stressful, I promise you. And it also helps you deal with life when life throws you like this odd curveball for an expense that you wasn't expecting, but you got to pay it. And flipping houses, when it's done right, can be a great way to inject like large chunks of cash, into your bank account. And it kind of helps you build wealth faster, and it just helps you have a better overall financial plan. After sitting on the sideline for about a year and not buying any properties, I started to get some phone calls from like some old marketing that I had done like a year ago, and the sellers were like more open to negotiation. And I got a call from a family who, there was three siblings, and their parents had passed away some time ago, and they had inherited their family home, and they wanted to sell it. They were just like done and wanted to sell the property. So they were more open to negotiate. It took about 3 months to get through all of the title work and stuff of that nature. But ultimately, they were intent on selling this property. So I said, hey, now is the perfect time for me to jump back in, because I'm getting a property at a deep discount. And I know that I could add value to this property above its existing structure, where I could push the value of the property up and make me a decent profit off of it. So that got me back into the game, so to speak. All right, so I'm going to show you the property, what I plan to do with the property, and how it just kind of fits into my long-term plans. So what's up, everybody? I'm here at a property that we purchased last month that we are getting ready to flip. And as you can see, this is a very small house. It's built in the 1960s, I believe. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, but we are going to convert this property to a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. As you can see, the garage was converted many years ago, and they just added a carport. And that is going to be the 4th bedroom, and we're going to add a bathroom in there as well. We'll go in and check it out. But as you can see, someone built a house here next door to this property. And then if you can see down there, there's a property that was remodeled by someone as well. So this will be the next property in the neighborhood that gets remodeled. So the first thing that we did on this house is, we had to fix the plumbing. So we replaced all of the plumbing, and this is the plumbing that is going to go to the new bedroom and new bathroom. So that plumbing extends all the way through the backyard and hooks to the main drain line with the city in the backyard. So it's quite a bit of plumbing that had to be replaced, but it's okay. You know, I got good guys for that type of stuff. And as you can see on this side of the property, this is where the existing bathroom was, and we replaced that plumbing as well. So that plumbing is now running on the outside of the house and running into the backyard, connecting to the main drain line. So new plumbing all the way around. All right, so now we're gonna go in and check this property out. It's a little rough in here, so bear with me. All righty, as you can see, my guys have already started coming in and demoing flooring and just kind of getting things ready. So they haven't really done much to this particular room, but we'll get there. So here is the converted garage area that I talked about. And as you can see here, that's the wall that faces the outside of the property. And we're going to be redoing that entire wall. And they pulled off all of the paneling that was on these walls. And, you know, they're going to replace damaged drywall, texture, and all of that good stuff. You know, we're doing the ceilings and everything. And on this wall over here is where we're going to put the second bathroom. So we're going to have to get that all prepped and get it, you know, plumbing ready and prepared. But as you can see, we replaced the plumbing from the kitchen drain, and this is where the shower is going to be hooked up, and it's going to run outside the property and around the side of the property to the back, connect to the main. All right, so let's go ahead here in this area here, laundry room. And as you can see, they replaced that plumbing, and that drain also is going to run out of the back of the house and connect to the other plumbing that is running on the outside of the house and taking it to the main line in the backyard. Hot water heater, had to move that out of the way because in order to get to that plumbing in the wall. But so this is where your hot water heater, washer, and dryer is going to be in this particular room. And then this door just leads to the backyard. So it's a funky kind of layout little house, but you know, it is what it is. And we're going to make the most of it and the best of it, because it's going to be an affordable house for someone. And we're just going to try to make it the best that we can. Now, from the laundry area, you come into the kitchen, and we have already removed all of the cabinets on the wall. And then, you know, you had those like little boxes that, you know, kind of extend down from the ceiling. We're going to get that out of the way so that we can, you know, raise the ceiling look of the house. But we're going to have cabinets and countertops all along this wall, range, dishwasher, so forth. And then there was a closet here, but it was a coat closet that where the door opened up to the hallway. So we just took this thing out of the way, and then we're going to put a new pantry here and to give them a little bit more cabinet space. And it's not a very big kitchen, but by removing that closet on the wall, we opened up a little bit more space. And we are going to, you know, do our standard thing that we do here. We normally just go, you know, white cabinets, white countertops, stainless steel appliances, and so forth. And here's one thing that I am considering here. So you see this wall here, on the other side of this wall is the living area. And it's a small living area, but thinking about taking out this wall or taking out part of this wall to open up the area a little bit more in terms of the living area that's on the other side, and make it more of a, I guess you could say, an open concept. But I got to talk to my guys about that and see how much that's going to cost. In these houses like this, in this affordable price range, you know, you can get away with not doing certain things. You don't have to go crazy and go overboard. So we try not to do that. And this is the living room that I was talking about that's on the other side of that wall, as you can see. So thinking about getting rid of that wall and opening this little small living room up to the kitchen. All right, next up, we're going to head into the hallway and the bedrooms and bathrooms over here. So in this closet here, let me just open this up. This is your furnace in here. And this furnace is not very old. I believe it's like within the last couple of years that they replaced it. So we're going to be keeping that. And then we're going to go down the hallway here. And this is a bedroom. Nothing sexy here, just a little small bedroom. Got a window there, a window on that side, and a closet. You know, decent sized little closet here for a house of this size. So, and we're gonna go down the hallway here. I'm gonna turn to another bedroom here. And again, nothing fancy here. You know, got the old disco record texture on the ceilings here. And obviously, you know, we're gonna have to make, you know, repairs and so forth, the drywall. And got a little closet here. Nothing special about this particular room. All right, we're gonna mosey on down to, this is the bathroom. This is the only bathroom that currently exists in the property, and it's not a very big bathroom, but it's all gravy. We are going to work with what we got, and it's going to get, you know, all the new works, gonna redo the plumbing, new toilet, tub, shower, and also you got some little shelving in here. We're going to, put in a new vanity and light fixtures and all that good stuff. And what we may do is, on this little shelving area here in the bathroom, we may close that in a little bit to put in a larger vanity. But again, I'm not trying to do too much if it's going to cost, a lot of extra money, because I think that, in this neighborhood, this house, and at the price point we're going to be selling, that we can kind of work with what we have. Okay, so now I'm going into the final bedroom here. And again, you just got a couple of windows, nothing sexy here. We're gonna fix up all the walls and, new light fixtures, flooring, paint, throughout. Nothing sexy here. As you can see, there were some cracks on the walls, but we've already had the foundation repaired. It only needed like 4 piers. This part of the house that I'm in was a little bit low, so the engineer requested, or I guess the engineer recommended, that we put in like 4 piers, lift it a little bit to even it out. So that's what we did, and we'll get all of that repaired and we'll be on our way. So this is the plumbing that is coming out of the laundry area. And as I mentioned, you have the plumbing that's coming around the left-hand side of the house, going through the backyard, and that runs all the way to a line that connects to the city. And you can see all the old plumbing or some of the old plumbing that was pulled up out of there, how it's all busted up and cracked and everything. So that's what we're doing. And we are going to, replace all of the siding and trim and so forth, and repaint it. It's going to look, totally different. And it's going to be a nice little house. I mean, we're not talking about anything extravagant here, but it's going to be a sharp little house when we get done. And I'll do a video when I'm done to kind of show you what it looks like. We do a pretty good job on these, so looking forward to knocking it out, getting it listed, and hopefully we can make a nice payday. So I work a full-time day job, so I don't look at this particular property or any other properties as my only source of income. I look at them as ways to accelerate my capital, so to speak, right? Because before I had this job, I worked at a different company, and for about 4 years straight, I was, producing this flip income on the side. And I was making about 80K to 100K net profit for about 4 straight years of making this income on the side, flipping houses, along with having my full-time job. And I'm looking to duplicate this process again. As I mentioned, I'm looking to flip, 3 to 4 houses per year. And if I can do that and generate anywhere from, 80K to 100K net profit, then I would like be right on the path that I want to be on, because I do not want to do 10 to 12 to 14 properties in a year. And with producing an additional 80K to 100K a year, man, you can pay down debt. You can, accelerate your wealth building. You can buy rental properties if that's what you want to do, or you can just invest it for the next housing opportunity. This is exactly how you move from depending on your job as your only source of income to making your job just one little piece of your entire financial puzzle. Whether it's real estate, a business, or any other investment vehicle, only having one source of income is no longer optional. It's absolutely necessary to have multiple sources of income, because you're leaving your financial future up to somebody else. As I've mentioned in other videos, and I probably stated it in this video, that if you do not generate a second source of income, then you're just leaving money on the table. You are leaving it up to other people to control your financial future, and I do not want that to happen to you. That is all I have for you in this video. If you took something of value, please like, share with your friends, your family, and in the meantime, take care of yourself and be safe out here in these social media streets.